All right. Good day to everybody. Today, we're going to discuss counters. There's counters for every mech and build in the game. And more often than not, when I play 2v2, people aren't doing it. And that's why they don't have as much success. So, if you're looking at my hanger, what mech, if you're playing a 2v2 match, what mech would you spawn first? Regardless of your answer, the mech that I spawn is the Deathwalker. The Deathwalker has good survivability, and the first mech you spawn in 2v2 is a test. The first round in any 2v2 match is you're just trying to see all the mechs and builds the enemy has. So in the second round, you know how to counter and what the player might spawn next. More often than not, players do stupid shit like, oh, I'm going to spawn my best mech, so I'm going to spawn my Surge. So to lose one of your best 2v2 mechs in the first 20 seconds of a match is just dumb. So countering would be if I spawn my Deathwalker, let's say I kill his mechs with my Deathwalker, and then he spawns his Surge. So he could probably use his Surge, come at me, stun me, and kill my Deathwalker. Well, now what mech would I spawn next if he's using a Surge in the field of battle? Correct. I'm going to spawn my Eclipse. Why? Because the Eclipse is the hard counter to Surge. So Eclipse kills Surge. So after a while, and the match is going, and my Eclipse is killed, and then he spawns, well, let's say he spawns his Eclipse. Now what mech will I spawn? What is the counter to Eclipse? It's not my Surge, right? Nomad. I'm going to spawn my Nomad. Nomad, with its damage reduction, is a very good counter to Eclipse. So, regardless of what your hanger is built like, what you use, you have to think about counters. And the first round in every 2v2 match is experimental. You're just trying to scout and seeing what the other player is using, but you must always know what mechs counter what mechs. So if there's a Surge, what are you going to use? You're going to use an Eclipse next. Players lose a lot of 2v2s is because they let a Surge player kill 3 or 4 of their mechs because they're just not spawning the right mechs to counter the Surge. Um, Vice versa with Eclipse. Nomad. What if there's a Nomad, if the player's using a Nomad, what mech should I spawn next? My Surge. Surge spawns the Nomad or stuns the Nomad and kills it easily. So it's just something I'm not seeing players do very often, and how it's easy to maintain a high win rate because players just don't understand counters. So look at your hanger. Always spawn your weakest mech first in 2v2. And then you can see what's being used and you can counter what mechs the enemy players is using. Now, if you're playing CPC is much easier to play. You can use different builds, range, weapons, and builds are good in CPC. But in 2v2, you're going to have a lot of 1 versus 1 engagements, and you need to understand the counters and what mechs the enemy player is using versus what you should be spawning next. All right. Kick ass, everybody. Have a good one.